Hey guys, welcome back. So in this lecture, we'll be talking about class and objects. So the first thing I need to talk about is we know that class is a model or it is a structure or a plan to create an object. What I mean by that, so the previous example we took is the car. So we have a car. So we call it as a class at this point of time. So that means we have a structure. And if I create a new object, maybe Ford, maybe Honda, maybe Toyota. So all these are objects that are following same model, same structure of our class. So this means in our program, we write a class with the attribute and actions of an object. What I mean by that? So attributes are basically our variables. What attributes you can think of a car? So maybe it's color, maybe it's speed, maybe number of seat. So these are different type of attributes. And the next thing is action. So action can be about driving, about brakes. So these type of things will be included in the action. So basically all the attributes will be our variable and all the actions will be our functions. So inside our class we will be writing different type of actions, that is function. And remember, whenever we are using functions inside a class, we will be calling them as methods. So we are going to write a class about a car, then we are going to define some attributes, that is variables, about color, maybe some model number, maybe some engine number, maybe number of seats, and all the different things that we can think of. And then there will be some functions that we are going to call as methods, and these are the actions. So once you start playing with them, you will understand automatically. So by now, I hope you understand that a class contains variables and method. The same variable and method are also available for any object. So we have created a class. Now we are going to create an object. So for example, I am creating an object as Honda. So Honda will have same attributes, but their values can change. So for example, seat number can change, engine number can change, color can change. So these type of attributes that are our variable can change, and each object will have their own attribute which is going to follow the structure of car. Now let us move forward and let us create our first class. So to create a class, all you have to do is write the keyword class and then you have to give class name. So I will be using student. Remember, while giving the class name, you have to use first letter as capital. And once your class name is done, you have to use colon. Now here I am creating a class as student. So basically I am giving a structure about student. So if there is any student in your school, they will be following same structure of this particular student class. They might have a name, they might have a grade, they might have some age. So we will be using them as attribute inside this. The second thing will be there will be some action, maybe talking, maybe writing. So these will be action of a student. So you'll be defining that. So what will be our objects? Think about it. So we have defined a student structure. So object will be the real life student. I myself is an object. So I can take Shubham as object. I will be following the same structure. That means I will have a name, I will have a age, I will have a grade. So you can follow the same structure for many objects. So that is why it is really helpful to decrease the redundancy of code. At this point of time, these things might get over your head. Keep following this lecture, all the doubts will be cleared. Now let's check this out. We have talked about attributes and action. So attributes means variables and action means method, that is our function. So this is our attribute. You can skip this init and self at this point of time. Don't worry, we'll be talking about that. But all you have to understand is I am taking attributes, that is name, age and marks. So these are my variables for a student class. The next thing is I am taking action. So action is my method which I am taking as talk. Inside talk I can do a lot of things since this is my complete function and I can perform anything. At this point of time I am just printing that. So this is my basic class which has attribute and which has some action. But how to execute it and how to utilize it? So for that we have to execute this with the help of an object. So in the example we have prepared model of the car, that means a class. Now we have prepared model of a student. So to utilize that, we need to create an object. Like in the car, we have create Honda, we have create Toyota. So now we have to create a student. So to create an object, we also call it as instance. So to create an instance, all you have to do is take a name, that is my object name, and now you have to use your class name and then parenthesis. So that means S1 is my instance, that is S1 is my instance name and student is my class. So the basic thing is class is car and this is my Toyota, that is my object which is following the structure of student. Now what is going to happen if I run this? You see, we got nothing because we just created an instance. That means with the help of car, we have created a model of Toyota. But we are not doing anything. We are not using the actions. We are not using even the variables, that is our attributes. So to utilize them, we can use S1 dot. Now remember, with the strings, with the list, we have different methods. Now we have our own method talk and we can utilize it. So if I call this particular method, it is going to print my name, my age and my marks. So with list, with string, we were doing something similar. I hope you remember. So let me use a print statement and print following things. So the first thing I'm going to print is my name. So I can use s1.name. So this is going to print my name. I can also utilize it with my age and also with my marks. And the thing that I was talking about method, let me do that also. So I can use s1 and then I can call my method, that is talk. So I've saved the file. Now let me run this one. So what you can see is, firstly, I printed my name, which is Shubham. Secondly, I called my method, which is talk. So what it does is, it actually call this particular function that is inside my class and printed the information. So that's how we are going to utilize these methods. So we have created an object and we are now calling our method. I know this method will be same for all the objects at this point of time. But remember, we are going to play with them from the further lectures. Let me do something else also. Let me clear this up. Here we have our s1 object. What we can do is we can modify a few things. If I do s1.name and here if I use any other name, what I am doing is I am modifying my name. So let me print this one. And if I run this now, you can see my name is changed for this particular object. I am not using Shubham right now. And if I create a new object, maybe s2, that is student2, and utilize this class student, and if I print s2 here, what you can see as a result is, for student 1 I am getting my result as Sharda, and for student 2 I am getting it as Shubham. That means Shubham is the current default value, and if any object is going to change that, it will use that particular instance value, that is for that particular object only. And for remaining, for any other default value, it is going to use as Shubham. So you can realize with the car example. Why I'm taking these two examples, so you can actually realize these things in your real life. I hope this lecture was helpful. In the next lecture, let us talk about what is this init, what is this self, and how I am going to utilize this class. My motive with this lecture was to make you understand about class, show you some example, and how our code is reduced. Now even if I am trying to perform this task with 100 students, it is going to save a lot of time. Instead of writing code for 100 students differently, I am going to use a class. Class has some method, class has attributes, and I am going to utilize that. So see you in the next lecture where we will be talking about a lot more things.